Hey guys, Chicago truck accident lawyer Scott DeSalvo here. And in today's video, I'm going to answer the question, what is my truck accident case worth? Okay. So, you've probably watched some of my other videos where we talked about this kind of stuff. And what I'll tell you is, we've covered it in other videos, but, trucking cases, at first, a lot of people think, oh, it's a trucking case. It's just like a car accident case. Well, on the very basic level, on your entry level thought process, yeah, it's similar because it involves motor vehicles coming into contact with one another and somebody getting hurt, right? But there are a lot of wrinkles to the cases that can determine whether the case is a high value case or a low value case. And that's what this video is about. Okay, so the first thing is similar to car accidents, but um, the first one is liability, meaning who caused it and can they blame you at all for the crash, right? So I'll give you a for example. If a trucker says that, let's say a large truck, a commercial truck, rear ends you on the expressway, but their truck cameras have a video of you cutting them off right in front of the truck and jamming on your brakes. Well, if they have video of that, that's going to be a tough case for you, right? It doesn't mean that we can't win it. It doesn't mean that we won't get you money. It means that the insurance company and my office will know that we're not going to go to trial without you being found partially responsible for the crash. And the way the law in Illinois works is that if you're involved in a crash like that and you are found to be more than half responsible, 50%, more than 50% responsible, then you can recover no money. So let's say they say it's the trucker's fault 49%, your fault 51%. And even if you have $1 million in medical bills, you get zero in front of the judge, right? With that in mind, on cases like that, I need to do the special things that very few lawyers know how to do to position a case for max value in settlement. So it's not a case that we would earmark for a lawsuit and litigation. It's a case we would earmark for settlement to maximize your value before we file a lawsuit. The other way it works is if the other guy's 100% responsible, you get every penny of the damages a judge and jury award you at trial. But if you are, let's say, 25% responsible and they award you $100,000 in damages, it's reduced by 25% or the percent that you were at fault. So that's how it works. And that works the same way in a car crash case as it does in a trucking case. But here's the wrinkle, you need somebody who is familiar with the trucking regulations, both industry standards, local, state, and federal regulations for commercial trucks. Because if a lawyer knows those rules, they can look for violations of those rules. And if you can establish that a truck is out of violation on a bunch of rules, boy, it makes what you did almost unimportant, right? So that's a big part of it, and it's a big different wrinkle, okay? So that's number one, liability, but also having, in other words, whose fault was it, and having somebody on your side who can figure out ways to put as much blame as possible on the other side. The second one is how serious are your damages, right? So we've talked about it in other videos. Truck crashes, because of the size and weight and the force of the impact, it has the capacity to hurt you far more than a regular car crash case. So there's no question about that. No question at all. Um, so when I am handling truck crash cases, it's usually the case that even if the property damage isn't that bad, the injuries usually are. They're usually permanent and they're usually really, really bad. So you don't want to have a lawyer who is like your neighborhood neck and back strain attorney. Now, that's not to say, I mean, I handle a ton of neck and back strain cases because I help people who call me, right? But what I'm saying is, it's good to have a lawyer who has experience and understands the medicine and will advocate for you if you have a serious injury, okay? And be there to support you, meaning answering your phone calls, answering your questions, aggressively moving the case forward, okay? So obviously the way it works with injuries is small injuries, less money, big permanent injuries, more money, right? And since every case is different and every injury is different, there's no real way for me to tell you in a video exactly how to calculate exactly what you're going to get. But I do have a free tool on my website called the case cash calculator. I'll leave the link in the description. You basically go there. It's completely free to use on my website. You start it, you answer like 6 multiple choice questions, and in 10 to 15 seconds, you get an answer to what your injury case might be worth. Okay? So it's not super detailed, it's not hard to use, it's easy and fast to use, but it gives you killer information that, I get a lot of people using it, and I get a lot of people complimenting it. A lot of people send me notes and messages thanking me for it because it helped them have more certainty in their case. So you might want to check it out, link in the description. Um, the third thing that drives the value in a truck crash case is how much insurance and or how rich is the company, right? So in a catastrophic injury where there's paralysis or death, or a breadwinner of a family can no longer work due to their injuries from the truck crash, and let's say the truck has $500,000 in insurance coverage, that's nice, it's going to help, but for how long? So if you are earning $80,000 a year and you have another 30 years to work in your career, and now you can't work, I mean, that's what, over $6-7 million that you're out over the course of your working career, and that doesn't even include all of the medical care. So $500,000 sounds like good money, and it certainly is better than nothing. Some money is far better than no money in a situation like this. But the wrinkle with trucking cases is having somebody who can investigate extra insurance coverage. So there's things called um, umbrella policies. Okay, so they might have 350, but they might have $1 million umbrella, and they might have excess coverage above the umbrella. So you need an attorney savvy enough to get that information out of the trucking company, right? Another thing is a good lawyer who is familiar with agency law is going to be able to possibly bring in the dispatching company, the shipping company, as well as the trucking company, right? And each one of those companies tends to be worth a lot of money, have a lot of money, and also have a lot of insurance. So if you had a serious injury and somebody had a $500,000 insurance policy, you might say, oh, well, that's going to help us past the crisis point, but then what? It's nerve wracking. It's very concerning, right? But what if you had an attorney on your side who was able to find an umbrella policy for $1 million and an excess coverage policy of $5 million? Now you're talking about $6, $7, $8 million in coverage. Or an attorney who can also find a basis of liability for the dispatch company and the shipping company. Now it's not just the trucking company's insurance policy, it's 3 other companies. And that might mean 10 million in coverage. It might mean 5 million in coverage. But that's the difference between your standard car accident attorney and attorneys who know how to handle truck crash cases. The last thing I'll say is, as far as value goes, truck crash cases tend to result in bigger injuries, and there's more insurance money to go after, meaning people injured in a truck crash, if they have the right attorney, can end up with a lot more money in their pocket, right? So that's what I want you to think about. I hope that information helps you. I know a lot of times when people watch a video about what is my case worth, they want me to, at the end of the video, somehow magically read their mind and say, your case is worth $215,000.85. But it's not the nature of the video. Hopefully these guidelines have helped you. My hope for you is that you and your family are well and that nobody in your family got hurt in a truck crash. But if you know somebody who got hurt and they need to talk to a lawyer or they have questions, I offer a free consultation, and you can call me any day of the year at any time, day or night. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And if you need an attorney, I'd be happy to talk to you about representing you. You can call me anytime for free, 312-500-4500. It's 312-500-4500. And, sometimes people aren't quite ready to talk to a lawyer yet. So I made that case cash calculator that I already talked about with the link in the description. Tells you what your case might be worth settlement value wise. And then I also have a link down there, and it's called the good case calculator. It works the same way. You just answer a few multiple choice questions. It's completely free, takes you 10 or 15 seconds, and you get answers to your question about whether your case is good or it might be a case with some challenges, right? So link in the description on that as well. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified when I shoot a new video, release a new video. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a 5-star review on Google, it would really help me. You know, I shoot these videos to help injured people, whether they become my clients or not. And if you would be so kind as to help me, literally takes you 5 seconds, but it's invaluable to me. I'm leaving the link in the description. You just use that link to go to that web address on your cell phone, your tablet, or your computer. Click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit. Very easy for you to do, but my goodness, would I appreciate it. So hope you and your family are well. I really do appreciate you guys watching my videos. If you have a question or a comment, please don't hesitate to give me a call, or you can ask general questions in the comment section. And thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Take care.